Hi everyone, thanks for dropping by and for returning to the old world. Today we're talking about painting and practice making better. Now, I say making better rather than perfect because there's always new things we can learn, things we can get better at. And hobby progress can mean an awful lot of things, but today the focus is going to be very much on painting, and I'm thinking really about speed and about quality. Because I think the more we paint, the more practice that we get, the better we become, the quicker we're able to put a layer of paint down effectively, get a look that we want. We learn the shortcuts, we learn the techniques that we need in order to get closer to the desired look. Now, I started thinking about this the other day when I was, at the time of recording, painting up. Not sure what's going on with the camera there. When I was painting up the model on the right. This chap is a Terminator I found lying around. Thought he'd make a bit of a change for something to do, so I thought I'll paint him up in the colours of my Chaos Space Marine army. The concept around that army is a force that's relatively recently fallen from being an Imperial chapter to renegade chaos scum, however you want to put it. So I merrily filed off a few of the insignia, so they've taken off the eagle off his chest, for example. And it was this one, I thought, well, actually, this sort of concept of a recently fallen chapter or group of Marines is something I've been playing with actually for quite a number of years. Painting quite similar models to that effect. And it really allows me to see how I've progressed as a painter over the years. I thought I'd share that with you today. So if we look at the purple chappie on the left. Now, this guy was one of the earlier models I painted when I got into 40k, not long after I finished university. It was only really after university that I got into painting models and playing the game properly. I played as a child, but obviously, wasn't really playing the rules properly. Didn't paint things really much at all. So actually, my early 20s was the time when I was first starting to actually, in a meaningful way, put paint on plastic. And at the time, this was part of a Slaneshi force I was building. I was quite happy with the effect. We had the contrast of the helmet against the purple and black working quite nicely together. But if you have a look at the model, there's an awful lot of detail on here which I've just not touched. And there's no real highlighting, layering, it's just a thick layer of paint slapped onto the model. Some years pass and I move on to having a look at doing a Chaos Space Marine army once again as a challenge to how effectively I can paint them. By this point in time, I know a bit more about highlighting. I've been playing around with layering. So challenge myself to do as good a job as I possibly can. And I remember spending what felt like an absolute age layering these guys up, layer of green, different greens, mixing them into 50-50 blends and working my way up. But I wasn't really painting efficiently. The highlighting is sporadic. But at the time, really happy with the results, and I think they still stand up as reasonable tabletop standard, although feel free to disagree on that point. Then we get to this one, a model I painted up really recently. Him and two of his mates, I managed to paint up over the course of a couple of evenings, and it struck me, see if I can get a good shot of the top there while staying in focus. Camera doesn't seem to like it today. So by comparison from that to the earlier work of that, whilst sort of the mid-years image is quite smooth, I think the more recent green, I've managed to get a lot more depth to it, really bringing out the sort of disgusting nurgly sort of colour on the green. I've got a bit better with the use of highlighting with washes as well, which I think has brought out the colours a little bit more, and I can really see that sort of progression that I've made over the years. Why does this even matter? And for those of you that are still awake at the back, congratulations. But I think there's some real bonuses to hobby progress. And it doesn't matter if you're the most naturally talented painter in the world, or if you're someone perhaps like me that has taken an awful long time to learn the skills that they're using, having put in goodness knows how many hours over the years on painting my models. Because then you can do things like I've just done, which is I've looked at one of my really early paint jobs, I've looked at an intermediary one, I've looked at a recent model, and actually it's practically the same model 3 times. Slight differences, but the terminators haven't changed that much. And I can look at that and go, actually, yeah, I have improved. I can see where I can do better. I'm thinking weathering is something I might want to try one day. I could do better. Highlights, the blending can be better. But there's real progress. And I can look at a model now and say, actually, I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. And that progression and having an actual physical thing that I can look at and go, actually, yeah, I did that. I'm really pleased with that. I think has really big benefits. Now, I don't think within that really it comes as any surprise that people got into painting models and things like that during the COVID lockdowns. Painting models is quite zen, I suppose. It's you sort of get into the moment with it, and just sit there focusing on this thing you're painting, just shutting out the trials and tribulations of the outside world. So I found that it's during the various lockdowns we've had over the last few years and all the other financial and other problems that are testing our resilience in the world today, that actually painting gives me something to reach out to that really seems to help. And of course, on top of that, you got the Brucey bonus of having that thing at the end that you can look back at and go, actually, yeah, that is quite good, isn't it? I really like that. Or, yes, I can see how I've improved. That's a big tick for the win column, even if you're looking at the end product and going, not sure about that. If you can go, I'm not sure about that, but actually, yeah, it's so much better than what I did a month ago, a year ago, a week ago, whatever. those wins are really important, and it gives us something positive to cling on to as we driving our way through our usual regular lives. And on that happy note, I would like to just thank you for dropping by. I would love to hear about your painting adventures, your hobby progress as you've developed over time, or maybe you're just a natural painter that wonders what all the fuss is about. Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, have a great day. I'm returned to the old world, and I'll see you next time.